He says to Harker Bay, Toronto Johnson. I call for a Moorish court on brother Toronto Johnson. And anybody who's riding with him with this scandal with these videos of me and my wife frauding the people.
Check it.
I never saw my brothers and sisters serving these packages when I was with Daweed Ali and them and Taj and them used to come to Chicago.
I laid them old boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway. Sleepwalking, they keep talking. I probably kept the charge and I don't care what any say. Nobody. Yeah, I'm the people's grand sheik and the people's grand sheik. Ain't seen a man I can't beat. Only the gods is my equal. You mortals, you just my sequel. You just my sequel. What the 85ers? Dip divers? Trying to symbolize us? You already dead. Who done got up in your head? Rent free. You wanna know who sent me? Who sent you? Leg, head. I tried to pull you out the bed, but you got up all groggy. Started talking real crazy, eyes foggy. Couldn't see through the fog. Then I had to bring the dogs, barking all up in your ear, acting like you don't care. Oh, you don't care? Like you don't preserve life. Oh yeah, and you really don't care, right? Oh, you don't care, right? Well, we gon' really check that, bet that, respect that. Since you said you ain't scared to die, I laid them young boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway. I laid them young boys to rest. They was sleepwalking anyway. I'm the people's grand sheik. Ain't seen a man I can't beat. I laid them young boys to rest. They was sleepwalking anyway. I would take you on any day. Michigan, New York, Cali, where you at? What you thought? From that town to Baltimore, everybody on the road is all raw. It's ready, choppers. I don't really think you want the problem. Hold up, raise the thought up. Back to a law, head. I try to get him out the bed, sleepwalking anyway. Sleepwalking anyway. Wake up, keep talking. Sleepwalking anyway. Wake up, I don't care what any say. Nobody. I'm the people's grand sheik and the people's grand sheik. I ain't seen a man I can't beat. Never. You mortals, you just my sequel. You mortals, you just my sequel. Only equals is the gods. You mortals, that's my sequel. I see dead people. Hey. I see dead people. I lay them old boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway.
I never saw my brothers and sisters serving these packages when I was with Daweed
I lay them young boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway. Hey, people's grand sheik. I ain't never met a man that I can't beat. No, the gods is my only equal. That's it. You mortals, you just my sequel. That's it.
I call for a Moorish court on brother Toronto Johnson.
Check 1, 2. Put the fez back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Check. I put the fez back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Yeah, let's own it. Put the fez back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Y'all ready? Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. I put the fez back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Quran and you can be a god that's on it. I put the fez back in the hood and it look good now, don't it? Get your own Quran and you can be a god that's on it. I used to rock with these temples and this one's a long way, but they all are super fraud and they not getting the way they want me to keep it quiet. Who I tell it to their face? I'm flipping over tables on my way to the 8. Tahaka Bey said it, now it's time to show and prove it. Got the same address and I don't plan on moving. This internet got these dope fiends acting ramble, dirty Frankie and some mess that he know he can't handle. When I pull up and I pull out a 1-2-5. Don't be telling me if you 60 when I let that thing rip. Open hand and closed fist. Put your nails on the curb, put your chin to the back of your neck. Now that's my word. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good, now don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god, let's own it. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good, now don't it? Get your own Corona, you can be a god, let's own it. Let me ask you, who doing it like Tahaka Bey? Check, check. Who the people's grand sheep? Huh? Show me a more doing it like Tahaka Bey. And I shut my mouth. Let's go. I can't wait to see Roy Bey and sit him on his back pockets for the simple fact he disrespect the prophet when he speak. He embarrassing. He ain't a Moorish American. The camera encourage him, so I will embarrass him. After that, I dip and take a trip to Carbondale. No, it ain't the hood. Oh well, coming with all the shells. Fine, yuck Bay, dozing off the soul off. Civilized the savage, so she can hate no more. I put the feds back in the hood and it look good, now don't it? I put the feds back in the hood and it look good, now don't it?
Anybody who's riding with him with this scandal or with these videos of me and my wife frauding the people.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bey front line till the law call my number. If you a friend of the Moors, then you's a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off Trump, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European how to bathe, and looking at women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Hell nah, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But when the love for the woman look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now cypher, I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bey front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler, this era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock a fast. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for dough. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my vast estate. I want my town, my sheriff, my stores, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you kill and fight and marry out of your race. If you ain't for Moorish world, then get out of my face. Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If you used to love the Moorish world, come on and build it with me, let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, oh yeah. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. That time. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I'll be that more you gon' remember. Tariq Bey, front line to the law, call my number.
Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I am your esteemed host, Brother Tariq Bey. How y'all doing tonight? Tonight we have an educational show for you. If I can keep my mic on the table. How y'all doing? So what I would like y'all to do, I would like y'all to tell a friend that Tariq Bey is at it again. What up, Yasmin? I want y'all to tell a friend that Tariq Bey is at it again. Yep, I'm at it again. Listen, family. In order for us to get things right, we must point out what's wrong. In order for you to get yourself right in this life, you must look at yourself and find out what's wrong. If you're not honest with yourself, you will never get right. As my brothers in the Nation of Islam say, is that right? Is that right? Teach, student minister. Is that right? That's absolutely right. If you don't be honest with yourself, you will never get yourself right. And so in the Moorish paradigm, many people have been watching. Louisville in the building, Lady Ace in the building, Miss Betty Teachers in the building. If you have been watching Moorish World TV and you have liked me or disliked me, I'm pretty sure that at some point in time, you Googled Moorish Science, Temple of America, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and everything associated with it. I'm pretty sure. And when you Google that, you get a whole bunch of information that it's hard to disseminate. It's hard to break down. It's hard to see what's what. And so I know y'all see me on Moorish World TV as a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? But why is this guy so cool when everybody else seem to be either stiff, churchy, over, I guess, polished? You feel what I'm saying? Over polished, or over intelligent. Yasmin said, Googled you too, GS. Google me, baby. But look, you know, when you Google it, some of this stuff that comes up, especially some of the information. Now, we'll get with the people later, but let's deal with the information right now. When you deal with this stuff, you look at this information, you be like, huh? I know Brother Tariq Bey seemed to be a little bit like me. I'm a whole lot like you. I ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? As it relates to normalcy, as it relates to living my life on my terms, I'm just like you. I raise my moral standards up. You know what I'm saying? I raise my intelligence up and I treat people the way I expect to be treated. However, I'm more like you than like them. These people are crazy. And I'm going to prove it. See, the problem is this. Much of our problem in our community, one, we're scared of checks and balances. Two, we're scared to check ourselves, so we will not check one another. See, the moment that we check ourselves, like somebody put on a post today, are you going to tell your whole criminal record? Yeah, when I put the book out, will you buy the book? Are you that interested? I am. I'm going to tell my whole story, and I'm going to have the record there with it. Absolutely, because it's a phenomenal story. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Detroit Red to Malcolm X. I'm Malcolm X to Detroit Red, but I'm Tariq Bey. So it's a phenomenal story. So, of course, I'm going to share it with everybody. So all of those who are interested, make sure you be interested when I put the book out, hopefully by the end of this year. Now, with that being said, because it's a phenomenal story, you actually can read the story to your children. It'll help your children. It'll help those that's struggling in life. It's help those who are trying to figure out where they need to go in life. It's a phenomenal story. You know what I'm saying? The story that I have now it's called Tariq Bey, When My Life Could Fit in a Backpack. I got some short stories. I do have a story called When My Life Could Fit in a Backpack. In other words, all of my possessions at one time could fit in a JanSport backpack. I've come a long way, like them skinny cigarettes. I've come a long way. But with that being said, we have to be able to
check ourselves. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these organizations out here that claim to represent our people, one of the things that hold us back is we're not honest with each other, and we're not telling each other the 1000% truth. And in this age of social media, it's no longer organizations that's the issue. It's these people that splinter from organizations and act like they still a part of organizations. In other words, Taj Tariq Bey. Who's familiar with Taj Tariq Bey? Please press 7 if you're familiar with Taj Tariq Bey. Press 7 if you're familiar with Taj Tariq Bey. Taj Tariq Bey is super famous and for bringing a lot of the Moorish information to the unsuspecting public when the grand sheiks of temples failed to do so. You follow what I'm saying? It's a fact. It's a fact. He brought a lot of the Moorish information, although convoluted it was, he brought a lot of the information that he understood to the unsuspecting public when the grand sheiks were playing like they was hiding in the temples or hiding in the churches. So let me say we got to give our brother his flowers now, because without Taj Tariq Bey, many people would have never heard of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and that's a fact. However, no one is I'm gonna make up a word. Here we go. No one is uncritiquable. Y'all, we got a new word tonight. I want somebody to keep a count on my new words that I make up this year. No one is uncritiquable, not even me. You see? And I remember that Taj Tariq Bey was the only one that had DVDs out or CBD. So people come at Taj Tariq Bey. Let's remember that many people would not have heard of Prophet Noble Drew Ali if it wasn't for Taj Tariq Bey. Now, the problem with that is this. Although people heard the name Prophet Noble Drew Ali from Taj Tariq Bey, they got a false assessment of the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali from Taj Tariq Bey. You hear what I say? They got a false perception of the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali from Taj Tariq Bey and those who propagate and stand on the shoulders of Taj Tariq Bey. I coined the phrase Taj Tariqites because the Taj Tariqites, and they teach exactly what Taj teach, and it's not even connected to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm going to get into some slides in a minute. But I want to make a disclaimer. The disclaimer is this. I don't have a beef with Taj Tariq Bey. I actually like Taj Tariq Bey. I'm a weird type of guy like that. I can like somebody and disagree with them, and you can still be my brother or my sister. I'm a weird type of guy like that. I don't know about you, but I'm a weird type of guy like that. I could really like you and still disagree with you. I could really like you and don't want to see no harm come to you. I could really like you and want to see you thrive and become the best that you were designed to be. That don't mean I have to agree with you. Now, many people will disagree with me tonight, and they won't bring no evidence. They're going to say stupid stuff like, you're an agent. I'm going to delete your comment. They're going to say stupid stuff like, you hating on Taj. Again, I'm going to delete your comment. I might respond to a few just for the algorithms. But what I'm looking for is people to prove me wrong. That's what I would like. I would like people to prove me wrong. I don't want to hear I'm hating on Taj. I don't want to hear I'm hating on Sabir. I don't want to hear I'm hating on Hannibal. I want you to prove my information wrong because I have nothing personal against those names I just mentioned. What I have a problem with is the young generation is coming in and they're going to learn the same stupid stuff that got Moors nowhere in 25 years. You hear what I said? I want you to prove my information wrong. That's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not going to slander Taj Tariq Bey, Hannibal, or Sabir.
I'm not going to call them names. I'm not going to call them dirty Moors. I don't feel as though the prophet ever used that term. That's a made-up term in my mind, because I think that's just juvenile to just call names. I think it's goofy. We used to do it when I was like 12 years old. Like, no, I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to make up stuff. No, we're just going to go what's on the record. So that's my disclaimer. That's my disclaimer. And if you are able to, I ask you to let your people know that we in the building. Now, first of all, when we're dealing with our brothers, when you deal with Moorish Science Temple of America, right? When you deal with Moorish Science Temple of America, it's two things I need you to pay attention to and pay close attention to, right? I'm ready to teach y'all something tonight, if you don't mind. I'm going to teach you something tonight. It's not the end all be all, but it's very important. Whenever you dealing with Moorish Science, the first thing you want to do is look for hidden messages. Now, I'm not going to hide anything from you, but I'm going to tell you, these people that want to swindle and play games, they hide messages. And they hide messages right before your face. You know what I mean? Just look for hidden messages. Now, one of the first things that you would notice, and this is not, let me say it again, this is not the end all be all, but it's very true. It's very true. A lot of people going to get mad, but it is what it is. It's very true. If you see a Moorish American or one claimed to be Moor or wearing affairs associated with Moor, and you see the tassel not moving on the left-hand side, that's one of the signs that you want to be careful, because that means you are possibly dealing with a master mason. I'm not saying that that's the end all be all. I'm saying that this is one of many signs. Press 7 if you're with me. If the tassel is pinned down, in other words, it don't move, that doesn't mean that's the end all be all. But if it's pinned down and it doesn't move on the left side, from the left side, what you're dealing with is a master mason who proclaimed his nationality. Now, when you see this, see if it moves now. If it doesn't move, that's one hint that you might be dealing with someone other than what they're projecting to be. This is a fact. Now, as Moorish Americans, right, you see Prophet Noble Drew Ali. If anybody ever seen this picture, you will never see Prophet Noble Drew Ali with his tassel on his left. You will always see it on the right-hand side of your screen. You will always see it on the right-hand side. Now, I'm not going to get into the great detail of that. Many people say, oh, no, that's what you're saying. Okay, I ask Moorish Americans, Masons alike, to pay attention. Many master masons, here we go. Laj Muhammad Fez has a universe on it. Moorish don't. Yeah, he put the universe on it, brother. He got that from the Moors, brother. Nobody else was wearing fezes back then, but that's another conversation, except for the Masons. With that being said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali tassel is on the right side. It's not pinned down, I'm pretty sure, but it's just a picture. I can't be 100% sure, but that's just a sign. All right, that's not the end all be all. Don't get all bent out of shape. Now, when we start talking about brothers, let me move this out the way. When we start talking about brothers like Sabir Bey, and I'm not accusing them of being master masons or not, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But when we start talking about Hannibal Bey, who is Taj Tariq Bey's son, Taj Tariq and the promoter Sabir Bey, when we start talking about them, we're talking about people who either one wants attention, or two, they're causing a distraction. All right. They said the Moors created the fairs. I'll talk about that in a minute. Talk about that in a minute. They either one are seeking attention, two to create a distraction. And we have to pay attention. It's reason why these distractions are made. Many of you don't follow the Moorish Science Temple of America doctrine or the Moorish Science Temple of America ideal. But in every ideal, there is some liberating qualities. For me, the Moorish Science Temple of America have 360 degrees liberating qualities. 360. Spiritually, everything. Everything for me. But maybe not for everybody else. But for me, it does. So with that being said, when we look at Sabir Bey, Hannibal Bey, and Taj Tariq Bey, we got to start with Taj Tariq Bey. One of the first things that we start with when we deal with Taj Tariq Bey is very simple. Taj Tariq Bey talks about when he joined the Moorish Science Temple of America. All right. And when he talks about he joined the Moorish Science Temple of America, he literally talks about that he was in a temple. And while he was in the temple, let me play this.
And you already know what I did. Went got them buildings and everything, and they accused me of trying to take over the temple.
So when Taj Tariq Bey, who calls himself a grand sheik, he calls himself a grand sheik, right? But now let me explain something to you. In order to become a grand sheik, number one, you have to have been a part of some organization called the Moorish Science Temple of America, and you have to be what they will call initiated into the Adapt Chamber. By one who was initiated into the Adapt Chamber, by one who was initiated into the Adapt Chamber by the prophet. It's a line of succession, even up to the day. You know what I'm saying? That you had to be initiated in the Adapt Chamber to become a grand sheik. A grand sheik is just not a random title. A grand sheik is just not a title where you can just throw on. No, a grand sheik comes with a responsibility. The responsibility of a grand sheik is to operate and run and maintain a Moorish Science Temple of America. A grand sheik, that's just like calling yourself the manager of Walmart, but you don't work at Walmart. You can't be a grand sheik. I mean, you can't be a grand sheik if you do not operate a Moorish Science Temple of America. That's number one. So this is why they will never have a conversation with me, because the first thing I'm going to say to Taj Tariq Bey, who ordained you a grand sheik? It's actually an official legal title. I'm a grand sheik, officially, legally, on documentation. You know what I'm saying? Man, you might expect me to be all polished and talk all eloquent. That's not what makes a grand sheik. So that's number one. We got that out the way. So because he talks this stuff that he was in the temple, let me play it real quick. If you will, let me play it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Too cowardly to speak to my face.
Hold up, say that again, Todd. This is what they do. What he just said is they too cowardly to say something to your face, and this is why.
Now, this is Sabir Bey, but now I'm going to show you how they paint this with a wide brush. Watch it.
I said I wanted people to share this out because I want people to ask us these questions that have a problem with you or I or Abdullah or even RV Bey.
Once again, nobody has a problem with any of these gentlemen. The only problem is misinformation. So here we go. Taj Tariq's story is that he was in the temple and they accused him trying to take over the temple. In fact, Taj was not in any legitimate temple. He was in a temple which would be called the reincarnated temple, passed down, where they had a temple and they was operating under what was called the reincarnated prophet. Now, for some people, that would be legitimate to them. But the legitimate Moorish Science Temple of America is the one that was operated and mandated and structured by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Not a reincarnated prophet, not a resurrected prophet, not a prophet this and a prophet that. Only Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He was never in a temple that was orchestrated by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He was never in a temple that was ran like Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Never, ever, ever. He was in one of these temples that was called a reincarnated temple. So that's number one. So when he said that it was treating him like he was trying to overthrow the temple, let me put you up on game. He's painting it with a wide brush so people can believe that the temple that you see today is the same temple that was trying to throw him out. That's not true. He was not a part of any official, what they call grand body, or with any official group that moved on the structure of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Never, ever, ever, ever. All right? That's the fact of the matter. So we can get over with that right now. So anytime you hear Taj Tariq say that they was jealous of him, he was in a temple that had nothing to do with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder. That's number one. Now, let's go right here. Then, to go along with that, he never subscribed to the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He never subscribed to the teachers of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Somebody say he wasn't a part of Dingo Brothers. Nope. He was a part of the reincarnated prophet. Somebody said that's not true. In fact, I talked to Taj personally. I talked to him personally, and I figured it out when I had a talk with him. Absolutely. I met with Taj 2 times, and we went over it. He was in a temple in Newark, New Jersey, or Trenton or Newark, New Jersey, and it wasn't an official temple by one that followed the strict edicts of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I don't know what you talking about. Anyway, with that being said, when you look at Taj followed CM Bey. Now the story is, let's get to the story. The story is that this guy that you're looking on the screen, that he was one of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali prized students. You hear what I say? Press 7 if y'all with me, because we're about to debunk this nonsense. This guy, Charles Mosley Bey, was one of Prophet Noble Drew Ali prized student. Somebody said it was the Moorish Holy. You know what the Moorish Holy is? That's a reincarnated temple. Again. Watch this. Charles Mosley Bey. They claim that he was one of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali students. The problem with that is this. We are in the information age today. You don't just get to say something. Today, you're going to have to prove it. You don't get to say that. They've been saying it since 80s. Now, today, you will have to prove it. All right? So now, let's look at the odds that he was Prophet Noble Drew Ali's student, and then we'll go over some of the stuff that he taught. Now, let's listen. The Clock of Destiny came into existence in 1947. Prophet Noble Drew Ali passed form in 1929. Here we go. In 1947, out of Cleveland, Ohio. You feel what I'm saying? You talked to him twice, so now he a liar? Yeah, he's a liar. He is a liar. You talked to him twice, so now he's a liar? He's a liar, brother. What more can I say? He's a liar. He's a liar. I talked to him extensively. I met with him extensively in Delaware 2 times. Extensively. I'm talking about for over 3 hours with books and records on the table. Extensively. In private. I love Taj Tariq Bey. That's my guy. I like him. But he's disingenuous. I think he's a very charming guy. As a person, I like him. But as a teacher and claiming to follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he's a liar and disingenuous. Now, here we go. The Clock of Destiny, did I tell him to his face? Absolutely. You don't know me that well. I'm not going to let you distract me. I'm not going to let you distract me. Absolutely, I told him to his face. That's how I get down. Taj Tariq is an elder. Ain't nobody want to fight because I tell him he's lying. Y'all, stop being a savage, man. Nobody. I'm going to tell him that he's not being honest. He's not being truthful. He's being disingenuous. And he going to hit me in the mouth? Come on, man. Stop, man. You told him to his face like he going to beat me up or something. You tell Taj to his face? Of course. Like he's going to beat me up or something. Cut it out, man. This information, man. This is not war. It's information. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. So what it says is the clock of destiny came into existence in 1947 out of Cleveland, Ohio. Now remember, Prophet Noble Drew Ali passed for him in 1929 in Chicago, Illinois. The founder of Clock of Destiny was the most sovereign Moorish master, Charles Mosley Bey. It lasted until 1973. Let me tell you something. Prophet Noble Drew Ali never used the term most sovereign Moorish Grand Master. Anytime somebody teaches something, all you got to do is follow the language or the syntax. All you got to do is follow the language. This is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's language of teaching. Moorish, the most sovereign Moorish Grand Master. That's a made-up term. That's not a Prophet Noble Drew Ali or the Moorish Science Temple of America terminology. It doesn't exist in the Moorish circle as it relates to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It says the most sovereign Moorish past master was given its rights by one of his students and minister of law, the late Joseph Dumas Bey. November 11, 1994, he passed in 2006. The order was called Moorish National Order of the Great Seal 360 degrees. It also came as the name of a club constitutional order and the Moorish School of the Great Seal, so named after the sovereign Grand Master removed national and replaced it with international. Clock of Destiny Moorish International Order of the Great Seal 360 degrees. The reason of its change from national. Now, I'm going to stop right there. I'll stop right there. What I'm reading to you has absolutely nothing to do with the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It has zero to do with the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. In fact, it will be called a foreign doctrine. It's no connection to Prophet Noble Drew Ali whatsoever. Moorish Order of the Round Table, Moorish Sovereign Master Grand and all that. Nothing. And let me tell you something. Just because I'm passionate doesn't mean I'm in my passion. I will debate anybody in comparing this information to Prophet Noble Drew Ali's information. I will debate anybody. Respectfully, I will debate anybody on it. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, let's keep it moving. Where did CM Bey receive his knowledge from? According to their own website, right? According to their own website, CM Bey was a former student of Noble Drew Ali. Now, why is it can nobody come with any information to prove that? None. Only thing we see is he have affairs on and using the term Moorish. That's it. During the split among the Moors in 1929, MST of A, CM Bey stated that majority of the information on the Moorish nation came from Yucatan University, where he studied. You hear what they say? You hear what that? You hear what I said? Let me answer this guy. You don't have to be connected to Drew Ali to be a Moor. So what are you saying, dude? Let me tell you what I'm saying, dude. Ain't nobody saying you have to be connected to Noble Drew Ali to be a Moor, dude. What I'm saying is that these people connected themselves to Prophet Noble Drew Ali and they have nothing to do with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, dude. So pay attention, sit back and pay attention, dude. Okay, dude. I'll say it again, dude. These people have validated themselves by the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but they're not even teaching the teachers of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Dude. All right, dude. Now sit back, dude, and learn something. I mean, all right, dude. Sit back and learn something. Now, here we go. CM Bey stated that the majority of information on the Moorish nation came from Yucatan University, where he studied. Now, I know we got some CM Bey people in here. Can anybody tell me, where is Yucatan University? Is it in Yucatan, Mexico? Okay. Listen to me. Pay close attention and watch how people play games. Nobody asked what year he was in Yucatan University. Nobody said what time frame, what was his studies. See, this guy is claiming to be taught by Prophet Noble Ali, or people are saying it. Look at this. Mexico, Mo. Thank you, brother. That was a setup question. Good job, Nitro. Good job, Nitro. Many people, no, they won't ask the critical questions. When was he in Yucatan University? Where was Yucatan University located? What degree do you have in Yucatan University? See, in 2020, when our salvation at hand, when people be swindling and playing games so much, we need to know all of these things. You know what I'm saying? We need to know all of these things. If I say that I'm a doctor, you need to ask me, where did I receive my doctorate? If you say that most Moorish information came from Yucatan University, implying that you went there and you brought it to the Prophet Noble Ali, because that's what this is really saying. This is what this is really saying. Look what it says. CM Bey stated that majority of the information on the Moorish nation came from Yucatan University, where he studied. In other words, let's break down the codification. He's saying that he went to Yucatan University, he studied, and he brought the information back. You hear what I say? Now we just going to see about that. Why don't nobody tell me when he went to Yucatan University? Where's the address? Okay, I tell you what. The best researcher on the planet Earth is going to do his best to try to break these things down to you. Okay. In the Yucatan, you have Autonomous University of Yucatan Merida. That's the closest thing that you can get the Yucatan University. In other words, there is a bunch of colleges and technical schools in the Yucatan, but there is no such school called Yucatan University. You hear what I say? There is no such school that I could find called Yucatan University. Press 7 if you're with me. So for this guy to validate himself, or people try to use this and say he went to Yucatan University and brought back majority of the Moorish information, we need to know where that university is. These are universities that are in Yucatan that I could find. You hear what I say? These are the universities. The closest one that I can find is Autonomous University of Yucatan. But that's not Yucatan University. See, I'm suspecting that this stuff is made up. I'm suspecting that this stuff is made up to validate a guy who's validating himself by Prophet Noble Ali. I'm suspecting that this stuff is made up now. It's made up. So far, it's made up. I mean, somebody said you have to be in the clock of destiny to understand. I have to be in the clock of destiny to understand where a university is? Huh? I have to be in the clock of destiny to understand where Yucatan, look at this. So where's the Moorish Science Temple of America located around the world? Why are there not any? It's one right here in Baltimore. Anyway, let me keep it moving. I know you upset. Prove my information wrong. So the only thing that's close to Yucatan University would be Universidad Autónoma de Yucatan. It is it's in the state of Yucatan, and basically it's called Autonomous University of Yucatan. That's what it's called. It's called the Autonomous University of Yucatan. It's not Yucatan University. In fact, there was never a school from my research that was called Yucatan University. I mean, that name. There was never. So for one to validate the brother without qualifying it with research, you just went straight back to the church and believing that Jesus is going to come out the sky and save you. See, this is the problem. This is what I teach in our temple. You follow me? This is what I teach in our temple. Many people let the church go. Shout out to my Christian folk. This ain't about you. Many people let the church go and they join all different organizations, but they hold on to the principles of the church. The principle of the church is that Jesus is going to bust through the clouds and save you. We always looking for a savior. And so when a brother comes and say, I went to Yucatan University, and when a brother comes and say, I got these credentials, nobody asked to see them because they've been waiting on a savior. They've been waiting on a savior. When in fact, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Prophet Noble Ali says, save yourself. Study and save yourself. And when you truly save yourself, you will assist your brothers and sisters to do the same. So again, there is no, according to what I done found so far, I will apologize if I'm wrong, there is no known college, university called Yucatan University, and that's one strike. That's one strike against these made-up lies. But this is where Taj, his son, all right, hold up. Let's go to video. Let's go to video. Let's go to video real quick.
We're keeping Prophet Drew Ali's work alive and CM Bey's work alive. If you were so damn...
Listen how he said that. We're keeping Prophet Noble Drew Ali's work alive and CM Bey work alive. That shows you that those are two distinctively different works. But in fact, they're not keeping Prophet Noble Drew Ali works alive. They're just using the name. Listen, people tell on themselves. Listen to this.
Drew Ali's work alive and CM Bey's work alive. If you were so damn great, you tell them people about the history of CM Bey. How when the damn payout went and y'all got rid of the prophet.
Here you go. Here you go. Listen to what he said. These are old wives' tales in order to dramatize a story that can get people to listen to them. But we ain't listening to this no more. I mean, we ain't listening to this anymore. Watch this.
And what did CM Bey do? He took his people and made Clock of Destiny, and then Elijah took his...
Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Break down the science. He don't know what he talking about. Listen to him.
Bey. How when the damn payout went and y'all got rid of the prophet, and what did CM Bey do? He took his people and made Clock of Destiny.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Remember, you hear what he just said? You hear what he just said? He said, when the payout came, in other words, he's saying that they sold the prophet out, right? This is a lie. I don't know if the payout or not, but this is the real lie. He said when the payout came, CM Bey took his people and created Clock of Destiny. But remember now, we just read on their own website that the Clock of Destiny was put together in 1947. So what is he talking about? He said that they got rid of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the payout came out and CM Bey took his people and created the Clock of Destiny. Hold up. Prophet Noble Drew Ali passed form in 1929. Clock of Destiny didn't come into existence, according to the website, 1947. What in the world is these fools talking about? I'm sorry to call you a fool, but I'm a little bit hyper right now. What is he talking about? He took his people and made Clock of Destiny. See, the people that's listening to people like this, they think it sounds very unique. Oh yeah, they overthrew the prophet. They overthrew the prophet. They overthrew the prophet, and then they didn't. Nah, look, somebody want to still rock with it. What was the Clock of Destiny before 1947? Maybe you need to research that. It don't exist. All right, it don't exist. It don't exist. Period. All right. It don't exist. So what they did was they made this guy a central figure. You know what I'm saying? They made this guy a central figure as it relates to Moorish Science to convolute and dirty the waters. So now when you Google Moorish Science, majority of the people, let me look at you real quick. Majority of the people that you see on the internet that talks Moorish science on social media, they have some type of connection to this crazy doctrine. Majority of them, Cujo, Sabir Bey, Taj Tariq Bey is the father behind him. He's the child of him. All of them. I'm telling you, all of this Moorish consulate thing, all of this crazy Moorish stuff stems from this guy right here. You hear what I say? You hear what I say? I don't care where you go at. Shalimar Bey, getting it from off the internet. It all comes from this right here. It comes from this right here. Now watch this. Now watch this. We're gonna bust him. We're gonna bust him real nice. We caught him in the act. During his lifetime, he received a doctorate, LLD. But notice on the website, it doesn't say where he received a doctorate. Go check it out. LLD, whatever that is, 3rd, 33rd, and 360th degree freeborn master mason status. Now, I want to say this. I don't know much about masonry, but I do know that there is not a chartered organization that gives out freeborn master mason status. You hear what I say? There is not a chartered Masonic organization that gives out freeborn master mason status. He made this stuff up. 360 degree freeborn master mason status. He made it up. There's nothing wrong with making it up, but you say he received it. From where? From where? And they go around teaching this stuff and keep on putting Prophet Noble Drew Ali's stamp on this madness. This is why I'm here today. This is why I'm here today. Where did he receive to be a free Moorish master mason status? Where? 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 It doesn't make sense. See, I'm not trying to get these old Moors that fall for this okie doke turning around. I'm trying to make sure the young generation coming through don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Because this is clearly a banana in the tailpipe move. This is clearly a banana in the tailpipe. Clearly, right? Now watch this. He was a master astrologer and Moorish constitutional law. Again, what is Moorish constitutional law? There is not one thing under Prophet Noble Drew Ali what we call Moorish constitutional law. I get what you might be saying, but it's very disingenuous to try to act like there is something literally called Moorish constitutional law. But I may understand what you're saying, but it's ambiguous, so it can be all over the place. Now, born March 3rd, 1897. Listen to this. Who is this? Okay. Here we go. This is another article on the brother. Just to be fair. Born March 3rd, 1897. Now, mind you, the first article I got from their website. This is from the website. It said the Clock of Destiny came and existed in 1947 out of Cleveland, Ohio. An alternative website reads, born March 3rd, 1897 in Chicago. During his life, he studied at the University of Chicago. I can't find nothing on that. After which, he served in World War I. He studied at the University of Yucatan in Mexico. I can't find that college. Where he collected knowledge of the Moabite nation. Now remember, Moabite and Moorish is interchangeable, but he did say that he studied, and this is where he got the Moorish nation information came from. So you're getting two writings from two different people, and they chopping it up a little bit, but they're trying to be consistent. From that moment, he intended to write the necessary documents, books, Cosmo Constitution of the Great Seal. Stop right there. This is from another source connected to the Great Seal. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but this doesn't mention anything about Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It says that after he went to the Yucatan, from that moment on, he intended to write the necessary document, books, and cosmo constitutions of the Great Seal. See, this thing is all over the place. No one chose to fact check. Family, fact check everything. This is why you see crazy Moorish stuff on there. This is why on this internet. This is why you see crazy Moorish stuff. This is why. Because no one fact checks. No one. But we're going to teach the younger generation to fact check so they won't get bamboozled by this nonsense. CM Bey listen to this. CM Bey registered his work in the Library of Congress in 1947. Watch this now. Watch this now. Hold on. Let me give it some heat. CM Bey registered his work in the Library of Congress in 1947, coded under Section 22, Chapter 2, Section 141 under judicial protection. At that moment, he began to walk from place to place, lecture, and work to recover lost people, namely those classified as blacks, African Americans, Western Indians, etc., but especially black people here in America. Let's stop right there. CM Bey registered his work in the Library of Congress in 1947. On this, you see where the paperwork nonsense start. That people think, now this is crazy to me. Let me share this with you. This is crazy to me. People think because they copyright something and they make a work and they registered with the Copyright Office, now it's some sort of supreme law of the land and that everybody should abide by it. Man, anybody can file something with the Library of Congress. Why do they think that that is the end all be all? Is beyond me. Is beyond me. Why? Now, they claim that he registered his work in 1947, coded under the Section 22, Chapter 2, Section 141 of judicial protection. Why do people think that that's the end all be all? Unbelievable to me that these people have been validating themselves because he filed something with the same people that they call, you know what they call them? What they call the Europeans. Huh? What they call the Europeans. They call these people colonizers. They validate themselves by registering something with what they call, not me, the colonizer. And people validate it. They validated the most famous words of those who follow behind Taj Tariq Bey. They use the term colonizer. Well, if this is the colonizer, why would you file your sacred work in his system? He's on your land, remember? Don't make sense. Nobody never questioned this stuff, but we're going to question it tonight. Now, the reason why I bring this up, because this is what the guy Hannibal likes to teach. Let's go to another video. Let's go to another video. This is the guy Hannibal likes to teach. You know what I mean? Now, watch this.
Bey did. CM Bey's work, the reason why it's so potent, his clocks of destiny and what have you in his work, he was preserving the Adab chamber work. The dumb nut niggers sat there and they tabled.
Now let's stop right there. What do this guy have to validate that CM Bey was preserving Adab work? In fact, we can't even prove that CM Bey even met the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. There's nothing substantial, even a shred of evidence that C.M. Bey, the one on this picture, 1 second, even met Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You hear what I say? There is nothing. There is nothing, not one shred of evidence that this guy even met Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Other than talk. Other than talk. And people are following this hook, line, and sinker, and they're calling it the prophet's teaching. Unbelievable to me. We go for anything. Now watch this. They say he preserved the adapt chamber. I'm quite sure that they don't even know what a real adapt chamber is. Because in order to understand the adapt chamber, you would have to be a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, or one has been associated with one who was in the Moorish Science Temple of America as taught by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, to really understand what an adapt chamber is. He don't even know what an adapt chamber is. He's just talking. Watch this real quick. Watch what he says. Watch this. Listen to, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Watch this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Listen to this.
His adapt chamber work. And like I had told y'all in an old radio interview that Brother Sabir blessed me to let me talk to y'all. The people that were in part of Noble Drew Ali's adapt chamber. Remember, there's all adapt chambers, all the different ones around the country.
He says there's adapt chambers all around the country. Another lie. He's a flat out lie. In fact, during the time of the Prophet, the Moorish Science Temple of America did not reach the West Coast. The further it reached was the Midwest with Chicago and things of that nature. But it didn't reach all the way west. So it wasn't all around the country. In fact, there was only 15 registered temples and possibly 4 unregistered temples. You hear what I say? It didn't reach all the way around the country. So I don't know where he got that from. In fact, according to written document, there was an adapt chamber in Detroit. There was also an adapt chamber that was formed in Virginia and one in Chicago. Only 3. It was 3 different adapt chambers that was performed. And it's really not adapt chambers around the country. You know what I mean? It's the adapt chamber of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You feel what I'm saying? It's the adapt chamber of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So you can perform the adapt ceremony anywhere. But there is not a place called the adapt chamber. You understand what I'm saying? There's not a place. There's not like, I'm going to go to Baltimore to the adapt chamber. An adapt chamber can be set aside anywhere. However, during the time of the Prophet, the Moorish Science Temple of America didn't make it all the way west. So it wasn't adapt chambers all around. It's not, they're not like 7-Eleven. There's 7-Elevens all around the country. No. That's how you know he don't know what he's talking about. In fact, what would happen is Prophet Noble Drew Ali would tour the temples. You hear what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Prophet Noble Drew Ali would tour the temples. And when he toured the temples, he would set aside and make adapts in these temples. You hear me? He did it in Detroit. Quite possibly, this is where Elijah Muhammad's father became an adapt as well as Elijah Muhammad in temple number 4. We'll get into that another time because we got the receipts on that too. We'll get into that another time. But for now, I'm just showing you that this guy don't know what he's talking about.
But the ones that was really blessed was the ones that was at the main temple that Prophet Drew Ali was.
Now listen, he said those ones that was really blessed is the ones that was at the main temple. You hear what he said? Listen to him.
And he had 5 adepts that he taught directly. He told the prophets.
Now, according to him, he had 5 adepts that he taught directly. According to him, right? He don't know what he's talking about. Let me show you something. He had 5 adepts that he taught directly. That's what he says, right? In fact, let me show y'all something real quick, if you don't mind. Let me show y'all something. He don't know what he's talking about. 1 second. Right here. In this picture I'm about to show you. Right here. These are all adapts. You hear what I say? In this picture right here, these are all adapts. Every single one in this picture is adapts. Family, the reason how you know that all of these are adapts in this picture, because they have what is the adapt sash. Do I have mine here? No, I don't have mine here. And they also have the adapt badge. So when you took that sash across them, that is an adapt sash. You feel what I'm saying? Someone say, if there was receipt with the messenger being in the temple, it would have been out right now. People have been saying this for decades. Okay, I got you. Saladin Muhammad, email me and let's have a debate about it. Come on. Email me and let's have a debate about it. It's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. Relax. Relax. I'm just not talking. Anybody that watch, when I say something on Moorish World TV, do I bring receipts, family? Press 7 if I do. If I don't, tell me what I didn't and I'll go get the receipt. But it's coming. It's coming, Saladin. Calm down. It's coming. Don't worry. Time is of the essence. It's coming real soon. With that being said, each and every person on this picture is an adapt. If you look close under, and I'm going to blow it up for you, you know what I'm saying? If you look close of this picture, right, and you look under, because he don't know what he's talking about. If you look really, really close, right under the Ali sign, look close, there is a little boy and a girl there. Those are all adapts. Those are adapts also. You see what I'm saying? And I will guarantee you, if I asked them who was that little boy and little girl, he would know. He would know. Because he doesn't know Moorish history. He doesn't know it. There's a little boy and a little girl. There's a little boy and a little girl in this picture who was made adapts on this day. This day is very well known in Moorish circles. And in this picture, there is no recordation of anybody he's talking about. He's lying. Watch it.
And then Elijah took his people and they split off. And he said for the Moors that was following him, CM Bey, Charles Moseley Bey, he told them.
So this guy is saying Charles Moseley Bey, right? Charles Moseley Bey took his people, and I'm going to play the rest of it in a minute. He took his people and told them not to talk to them. But no one will show Charles Moseley Bey in the temple anywhere. Charles Moseley Bey don't even appear until the 1940s. These people are lying. These people are lying. Why they are lying, I don't know. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it at this point, but they are. They definitely are. I mean, I don't know. That's why I would challenge anybody to debate me. Now let's go. Let's deal with the doctrine that Taj Tariq espoused. All right. I'll leave that alone. One of their doctrines is, according to the clock of destiny, it says the Moors and the European will rise together. Then you will understand the meaning of the book, The Clock of Destiny. The teachers of CM Bey were prepared specifically for Black Masons and Black Eastern Stars based on books of Clock of Destiny. Now stop right there. He says that the Moors and the Europeans will rise together. Y'all just seen that, right? Y'all see that? He said that the Moors and the Europeans will rise together. All right. Let me show you what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says. I'm going to go to chapter 48 and show you what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says. I don't know what he's talking about, CM Bey. But what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says is very specific. and very clear. See if I can pull it up real quick. Hold up 1 second. Oh, where's that? Where's that? There you go. All right. I guess I got to do it like this. You know me. I got to do it like this. Give me 1 second. Bing. Let me show you what the Moorish Science Temple of America says real quick. He says that the Moors, there you go, my bad, there it is. I see it now. All right, here we go. So he says that the Moors are going to rise together, right? Let me show you what Prophet Noble Ali say. Somebody said, you already on it. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to European nations as it prepares for their forefathers. All right? Number one. So he said we're going to rise together with Europeans. Prophet Noble Ali teaches, we as a clean and pure nation descended from the inhabitants of Africa do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the pale-skinned nations, marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Neither serve their gods of their religion. I'm going to say it one more time. He says that the Moors and the Europeans are going to rise together. Prophet Noble Ali says that we do not desire to amalgamate. Y'all know what amalgamate mean, right? That means mix. We do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Race pride is not racism. It has nothing to do with hating Europeans. So please don't go there with that, because you don't say nothing to the Arabs when you try to talk to his daughter and they look at you funny. You don't say nothing to the Chinese guy if you try to talk to their daughter. You don't say nothing. So don't say nothing to the Moors, because we got to teach our people not to amalgamate and marry. You follow what I'm saying? You don't say nothing to other groups of people that practice this same thing. The difference between them and us, we have to teach our people this. They just do it inherently. They inherently do it. So don't get mad at us. Oh, you racist because you won't kiss a European in the mouth. You racist. No. Because the Arab ain't going to let you. Look at this. Arabs are Moors. Look at this. Look at this. We're not talking about if Arabs are Moors, if Arabs are Asiatics. We're talking about cultural norms. Come on, get you in the wrong conversation. You're in the wrong conversation. The point that I'm making is, why don't people, let me say this. Why people are so quick to say stupid, irrelevant stuff instead of sitting back and learning? Why don't you just learn? Arabs are Moors. Okay, whatever. That's not the point that I'm making. See, this is why we fail as a people too. We lose focus too fast. We always trying to act like we know something. I know. That ain't what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is Sabir Bey saying that the Moors and the Europeans are going to rise together. I'm telling you that Prophet Noble Ali said that we're not going to mix the two. That's the whole point, my brother R2. Are you R2D2? You a machine? Come on, walk with me, brother. Work with me. Work with me. We cooking. Let's cook. I mean, let's cook a little bit. Now, with that being said, let's go. Oh, hold up. I got to bring this back up. All right. That's right. I got to bring this one back up. So that's another thing that we debunk. Oh, there it is. That's another thing that we debunk. And this is what Taj Tariq follows now. The reason why I'm pulling this out is because this is what Taj Tariq follows. You follow me? This is not no hatred towards Europeans. And I want to tell you that we don't practice hate. So that's not what this is. And this is the statement out of his records, Sabir Bey. This is what Taj Tariq believe. Europeans must rise with the Moors on the basis of Volume 2. we are the direct heir to this land, and Jews and several European families know about our progress. The Moors and the Jews are brothers. As a well-kept secret in the hours of fate, keys and always was in the hand of the kinky-haired Moors, COD. At this time, Jews and white Christians, North America, there will be a time that the Moors, Jews, and white Christians will rule side by side. This is what Taj Tariq Bey believe. This is what Taj Tariq Bey believe. See, when you pull, this is what Sabir Bey believe. This is what Sabir Bey believe. Why do Sabir Bey believe this? I'm going to show you. This is what Sabir Bey believe. Don't let just because he holding some books up in his hand. Y'all going for that? Let me show you something.
This is what they was coming for.
This is what y'all was coming for.
This is what they was coming for. They were coming for this type of stuff.
You heard the Moors, that was your Moorish diplomats or whatever. Like the father he is the Emir. He is the
Sabir Bey defends this madness. You can't take part of the doctrine. You can't take part of the doctrine and say, no, I don't believe that part. No, listen to him defend it.
Highest official here.
These are the original tag makers. These are the original tag makers within the Asiatic so-called black community. These are the original tag makers. When you see all of these Moors with the right to travel, this is where this came from.
The Emir, God rest his soul, his grace, Rami Yusuf Bey. He passed. He was the Emir.
This is what people was coming for.
And they would see the Moors doing this, and so they was only coming with that mentality, but they still wouldn't drop the Igorish, the Negroidian mentality.
Again,
that's the original tag makers. I mean, that's the original tag makers. When you see these Moors getting pulled over by the police, man, this started in the 80s with Taj Tariq Bey. This started way before. See, listen, let me tell you something. Without a Moorish World TV, right? Without a Moorish World TV, this goes on to the next stage. You know what I mean? Without a Moorish World TV, the next generation get to believe this lie. And they're associated with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Without a Moorish World TV, this stuff go unchecked. This stuff has been unchecked since the 80s. This stuff go unchecked since the 80s, family. When you see all of these groups making tags today, calling themselves governments today, this came from 1980 Taj Tariq Bey. Has nothing to do with the Moorish Science Temple of America. Has nothing to do with the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now let's get busy. Let's get busy. And send them to me. Now remember what he said. Jews and white Christians, North America, there will be a time that the Moors, Jews, and white Christians will rule side by side. Remember, there was a time when the Moors and Jews ruled together. This CM Bey teaching, this not me. This not me. This is what Sabir Bey, the great reader of every book. Sabir Bey, live from Spain. Sabir Bey, live from Yucatan. Sabir Bey, live. See this book here? See, y'all don't read books. Shout out to Ben X. This is Ben X book. This is my son's supposed to be reporting to Ben X. This is Ben X books. If y'all ain't got to get it. See, y'all don't read books. See here, all you got to do is put it in a book because they don't read books, you know. They don't read books, you know. So you get books. You see, I got books. Yeah, I get books. Yeah, baby. I got books. Y'all don't read books, see. And I got this book here. This book here costs $20,000. See, ain't nobody going to spend $20,000. I got this where I get this from? I got this from Fez, Morocco. You got to get this one here. Yeah. Yeah. And then you got to get this book here. You got to get this book here, Sabir Bey. And then you got to get there. This book here. See, nobody reads. See, I read, you know. You got to get the book here. See, you see all the marks in there? See, I read these books. See, you got to get books. I got more books. Oh, man, I got books and books and books. I got books for days. I got books for days. I mean, that's books. You know what I mean? I got books, you see. Live from Saudi Arabia. I got books. I got books. Y'all ain't got books because y'all don't got to read. Y'all don't like to read. Come on, call up. You want to debate me, it's going to be $12,000. See, you got to pay for my time. You see, I'm going to bring an audience. It's $12,000 for my time. You see? Shout out to Sabir Bey. Now, let me tell you something. I actually like Sabir Bey. Sabir Bey going to get mad in a minute. He going to talk crazy in a second. You know what I'm saying? But if Sabir Bey was in a clutch, you know what I'm saying, I got his back. That's my guy. I like him. But Sabir Bey is disingenuous. He's disingenuous. He's very disingenuous. He knows nothing about Moorish science as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Many people do not know Moorish science as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They be teaching themselves. They better find some elders. That's what they should do. They should find some elders that's associated with elders that was associated with the prophet before they all pass away. That's what they should do. You see what I'm saying? That's what they should do. That's right. But with that being said, let's get back to it. So this is CM Bey. He said, those who remain under Christian needle will continue to fall under the king's leadership, while Mauritanian Republic will manage its own affairs with the help of Europeans, and in the opposite direction. Y'all see this? This is what Sabir Bey, Taj Bey, Hannibal Bey believe. This is what they believe. Okay, y'all think it's a game. All right, we're gonna turn up a little more. Y'all think it's a game. Ain't nobody playing. According to the Clock of Destiny, the Moorish Great Seal, Islamic federal government. Now, here we go. These people claim that they follow the Great Seal, but they got a consular court. They got all of these crazy new name governments going on, but they claim to follow the teachings of CM Bey. You hear me? According to CM Bey, he got a preamble. Now, whether they follow CM Bey or not, watch this though. We, the members of the Moorish constitutional government of the Great Seal, must promote organized effort in the category of legal business enterprise, such as chain stores of necessary human consumption, housing and building programs, agriculture, printing literature, advanced education and more science of the zodiac involving human character, sociality, economics, commerce, the science of good government. Now, you tell me where Taj meet any of these requirements besides throwing out some fugazi literature. Show me. Where is his chains of stores? He's been around since 1980. But he says he follows CM Bey. See, this is where the rubber meets the road. You know what I'm saying? You have something to measure somebody against. Taj Tariq Bey shouldn't be allowed to say that he's a great seal, that he represents CM Bey. For one, CM Bey is not teaching like Prophet Noble Drew Ali. For two, he's not even fulfilling the requirements that it takes to be of the Clock of Destiny. I don't agree with the Clock of Destiny as it relates to being associated with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But one thing I can say, that they have a program, and everybody who's claiming to follow CM Bey don't even follow the program. I'm not saying everybody. Taj, Hannibal, or Sabir. Now watch this. Oh man, we about to knock this out the park in a minute. Our system of government shall as its task by establishing a common market, an economic monetary union of security by implementing the common policies and activities. The only thing they do is drive without a license. Not Taj. He tells everybody else to do it. Anyway, a high level of employment, social protection, equality between Asiatic men and women, sustainable, non-inflationary growth, a high degree of competitiveness and convenience. See, all of this stuff sound good. But these people ain't doing none of this. The only thing they're doing is trying to tell you how to fake enforce the Constitution. You got to enforce the Constitution. Why they always say that? Enforce the Constitution. What you talking about? Scream at the top of your lungs like me? I'm enforcing the Constitution tonight. I'm enforcing the Constitution of the Moorish Science of America, the divine Constitution by law. I'm enforcing the Constitution tonight. People say enforce the Constitution, but all they do is scream and yell and talk crazy. We got to force the prophets say force the Constitution. Why you go force it then? What you doing? These people crazy. These people crazy. Watch this. That's right. We throwing them under the bus tonight. Now, according to, listen to this, according to the Zodiac Constitution, you feel me? It says, listen closely. The Moors, referred to as Negroes, definitely can never become members and citizens of the Union Society of the 48 States. What this is saying is that Moors could never be citizens of the United States of America. That's what this is saying. That's exactly what this is saying. However, the funny part about that is that's not what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches. In fact, what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches is that you are a citizen of the United States by birth. It's your birthright. That's the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And you know what? People might have a problem with that, but you have no choice unless you denounce your citizenship legally. You are a citizen of the United States, whether you like it or not. You hear what I say? You would have to expatriate not to be a citizen of the United States. You hear what I say? This is just the laws that you live under. You don't have to respect the law if you don't want to. But according to this land, all men are born free and equal. No matter how they try to treat you, no matter how they try to twist the law, manipulate the law, whatever, that we can deal with that. That's a separate issue. That's a separate issue. How can we step up and do things necessary so it can behave in our favor, like the European Jew has used the law to behave in their favor? You know how the European Jew did it? They put their children to school and their children became judges and politicians and ran Hollywood and sent money back. Yeah. They created Hollywood. And yeah, it's nasty and a dirty game, but they sent money back. You see, they went from the Holocaust. To today, they have a state called Israel. Yeah. They sent their children to school to become doctors. They sent their children to school to become lawyers. They sent their children to the same schools in the land in which they were in and being prosecuted. And now, guess what? When one of them get locked up, they going to see the judge, their cousin. When one of them get caught up in a scandal, they're going to see the judge, their uncle. When one of them get caught up in some mishaps, quote unquote, they're going to face their Jewish brother or sister. So the issue is not what the politicians are doing. The issue is, what are you doing to seize control politically, economically, socially, and spiritually? That's the bigger issue. The issue is not we're going to get into it. Now watch this. And I said that for a reason. It says, therefore, they cannot be forced or drafted into the Union, USA, Army, or military service to fight for the Magna Charta Code. Now, when we deal with not joining the Army, where they was wrong with Muhammad Ali, because he expressed his religious right, that a part of his religion do not allow him to kill. So he's not going in the army to kill. That was a religious thing. That's why the Moorish Science Temple of America is a religious corporation. It says the lawmakers of the 48 state union order cannot force Moors, Beys and El to pay taxes, because taxation without reputation is a supreme violation of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, birthrights of Islam. Now watch these contradictions come up in a minute. It says that they cannot force you to pay taxes because taxation without representation is a supreme violation, not of the Constitution of the United States, but of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution. But who ratified that in this country? I'm not giving Europeans no unwarranted power. The point that I'm making is Europeans do not respect the Zodiac Constitution. In fact, they don't even respect their own constitution. So what make you think they're going to respect yours? They don't even respect the Constitution of the United States for all intents and purposes. What make you think they're going to respect yours? They said to pay taxes because it's a violation of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution. And they said because it's taxation without representation. Well, you need to stand up and represent. You need to put yourself in position. When the Union lawmakers denounced the immoral Magna Charta Code and resort to the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, the Moors are compelled to pay taxes. You hear what they say? You hear what they say? They said the only way that they're going to pay taxes if let me break this down in simple language. The only way that these Moors under CM Bey is going to pay taxes if this European government denounced the Constitution of the United States, or quote unquote, the Magna Charta Code, and accept the Moorish Zodiac Constitution. Y'all wait on that. Did y'all hear that? This is what they're going to teach your children. That listen, don't try to get in positions of power and control the political pen. Don't try to get in position of power and control the political dollar. Don't try to get in power and control the political lines of demarcation. You just don't pay no taxes, relax, and everything will be all right. That's what press 7 if you understand what I'm saying. That's what this stuff is saying. Like, I'm going to give it to you in layman's terms. This is saying that if these Europeans don't accept the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, they ain't paying no taxes. What I'm saying is, the same way everybody else was disenfranchised, find a way to get right. Find a way to get right. In Baltimore City, we are predominantly, quote unquote, so-called black community. We like over 75% us. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to come together and put somebody out of all these people, somebody that will use the pen for our benefit. Somebody that will use the money. There is no way. It's just this organization is the problem. Political ignorance is the problem. But according to this, there is no room in science of masonry, the zodiac, for mystic god, religious worship, race, color, ignorance, war, crime, slavery, and human injustice. Now watch this. We just getting started. This is what Sabir Bey them follow, because this is the doctrine. Now listen to this. Therefore, the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, the Moors, Els and Beys can demand adequate employment. You hear this? Listen closely, family. I want you to listen to the language. Therefore, the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, by the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, as if it's been accepted and ratified, right, by the Europeans. Listen to this. Therefore, by the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, the Moors, the L's and Bays, can demand adequate employment, food, clothing, shelter, medical care, equal rights, respect, and protection from mobs about. Look at this begging. Look at this begging. We are demanding that the slave master, the slave owner, clothe us, employ us, shelter us, give us medical care, and equal rights. Therefore, by the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, the Moors, Bays, and L's can demand adequate employment. What happened to creating a job? That's what the Moors with the Prophet did. Food. What happened to buying land and growing your own food, as the Prophet taught the Moors? Clothing, shelter, medical care, equal rights, respect, and protection from a mob violence, rape, and injustice. Otherwise, without being obligated to the union, church, and religious system of the Order of Christ, the white sun idol of God. This is a slave talk right here. I demand you to employ me. I demand you to feed me. Under the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, I demand you to clothe me. See, this is the part that they don't want to talk about. You see, this is the part that they don't like to mention. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen.
We're keeping Prophet Drali's work alive and seeing Bey's work alive. If you were so...
How is that keeping Prophet Noble Drew Ali's work alive? Demanding somebody to feed and clothe and shelter you. That ain't the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's program. That ain't keeping the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's work alive. Let's go. It said, in the Christian Union courtroom, the Moors cannot be forced to remove their red fez from their head, nor can they be forced to raise their hand and take an oath over the Christian Bible. Neither can Moors, Bays, and L's employ white or Negro lawyers to represent them. The reason for this is that white people and their Negro slaves definitely cannot represent free Moorish Americans. Let me tell you, Prophet Noble Drew Ali had two attorneys. One of them was a member of the temple and the other wasn't. I will say it again. Prophet Noble Drew Ali had two attorneys. One was a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and the other wasn't. He would be considered a Negro slave according to this. Let me tell you something, family. If you go to a swimming pool and you can't swim that well, make sure that there's a lifeguard around. So if you get caught up in the court system, try to find someone that you can trust that have years of experience in studying the tricks and the tactics that is played in these courtrooms. Don't think that you're going to pick up a book and you're going to have 20 years of experience with some old European Jew or Asiatic with 20 years experience dancing around the courtroom and making friends. Don't fall for that. Don't be so foolish. Don't be so foolish thinking that you're going to walk into a courtroom with some book knowledge. That doesn't mean that you won't walk out sometimes. But that's only the setup for the clothes hanger. See, some of that stuff, it ain't even worth filling up a jail cell with. But the more confident you get, the more bigger your ego get, the bigger the foolishness you'll do. And then they bury you. You see, when you look at Rise of the Moors, if anybody familiar with it, they was doing little things. Press 7 if you're familiar with the stories of the Rise of the Moors that's locked up right now. They was doing little things. They was suing people. They was filing paperwork. They was even walking out. They would get arrested and walk out a couple times. Got their window busted, drove off. Got locked up, drove off from a right to travel. It was all little things. They build their confidence up. The next thing you know, they grabbing weapons, don't even know the laws. They grabbing weapons, they walking across state lines, and now they don't know what tomorrow might bring. You see what I'm saying? They don't know what tomorrow might bring. because the Europeans allowed them to build their confidence up with that Moorish sovereign ideal. And whether you are sovereign or not is not the point. That's what they call it. And they let you build up your confidence, and you be so foolish that you build it up, and then you jump out the window. Let's look at this. Now, this is the one that really need to be talked about. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in the Christian mythology as the Holy Quran or Al-Quran. You hear this? Listen. Listen closely. This is what CM Bey says. I suspect. I don't see his signature, but supposedly. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in Christian mythology as the Holy Quran or Al-Quran. You see what he's playing here? What's going on here is that he says that the Zodiac Constitution in Christian mythology is referred to the Holy Quran or Al-Quran. So therefore, what he's actually saying is that the Zodiac Constitution supersedes the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So what he's doing is sitting Prophet Noble Drew Ali to the side and say, now this supersedes that. Y'all think I'm playing? Y'all can read it for yourself. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in the Christian mythology as the Holy Quran or Al-Quran, meaning the earth, the moon, the sun, and the 7 planets, or the chronology of the zodiac record of the Moorish nation of the North Gate of North America. Now that's a whole lot, family. But it's all fugazi, it's all pseudo. The name Muhammad, listen to this. I want to blow this up so you can see this. You got to see this really good. The name Muhammad. See if I can blow this up a little bit. Oh no, my bad. I got to blow this up so you can see this. Oh, y'all see that? It says the name Muhammad. Listen closely to this. The name Muhammad, prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque was established by Dutch Anglo-Saxon priesthood, Franciscan fathers of North, who overthrew Moorish society of Islam between 1789 and the Union 1863. Y'all hear that? This is a whole lot now. Listen to this. The name Muhammad, prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque was established by Dutch Anglo-Saxon priesthood. But now let me drop down a little bit more. Now listen to this. This is what Taj Tariq Bey now believe. The Moors, the Beys, and Elves must never attempt to teach or lecture in a Christian institution, namely church, temple, mosque, school, and hall. Y'all see that? Can y'all read the screen? These people say that the Moors, Beys, and Elves should never attempt to teach or lecture in a church, a temple, mosque, school, or hall. This is why, let me tell you something. When you listen to Taj Tariq Bey, if you listen closely, he has an underlining message of bump the temple. He talks about the prophet, and he says, I tell people to go to the temple. He says these things. But in reality, the essence of what he believes, this is why Sabir Bey does the same thing. This is why he said the temple is a sellout. The temple like churches. The temple as if they've been to every temple named Moorish Science Temple of America. But the reason why is because the foundation of CM Bey's concepts of teaching is that the temple should be avoided. That's the fact of the matter. In fact, CM Bey denounced religion altogether. I think they made it up that CM Bey was a part of the temple. I think they made it up. I would like to find CM Bey saying that. I think he was familiar with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but it's hard to, after what I done studied, nah. CM Bey was doing his own thing. And he took the Moorish, a piece of the Moorish stuff. He don't even speak Prophet Noble Drew Ali's language. You know what I'm saying? Look, it says, this is the violation of the Union Society states of the Magna Carta Code of Mary and Christ. The truth of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution and moral human principles definitely conflicts with the Christian Union customs and doctrine of Magna Carta from every angle. Nor do not criticize the white people belief in the religion of their sons and women image. Nor do not ever attempt to influence white people to accept all truth or principles of your 12 Zodiac constitutional law. Now, in one sense, he says, do not try to convince Europeans to accept the oral truth and principles of your 12 Zodiac laws. Y'all hear that, right? But now, in another sense, right, he says that they're going to have to come under the Zodiac law. Did y'all remember when I said that? Press 7. Y'all remember when I read that? At one point, he says that Europeans we're not paying no taxes until the European comes under the Moorish Zodiac demonstration, constitution. But in another sense, he said, don't get them to accept that. You feel me? Let me get the point blank. MST of A is a 501c3. That's a lie too. MST of A Incorporated under the leadership of Jones Bey is a 51c03, but I will tell you that that's not how the Prophet set up the movement. That's not the Prophet movement, and it is what it is. If people choose to follow it and think it is, that's on them. I put the information out. The Moorish Science Temple of America is not a 501c3, not a 501c4. It's not none of those things. It's a religious corporation founded under Hertzfeld statute, and the laws date back to the 1800s. All right? All right, I'm sorry, I got to bring it to your attention. It's not a 501c3, it's not a 501c4, it's not any of those things. I can prove it, but that's not this conversation right now. That's not this conversation right now. All right. Now, and anybody wish to challenge me, all you got to do is email me at talkabay@gmail.com. I take all challenges. I take them all. Now, and what Taj Tariq Bey did, he put his name on the Moorish Zodiac Constitution. You feel me? Prefaced by Taj Tariq Bey. So he owned it. You feel me? So now, watch this. And we're going to rock out tonight. Let's say it's Sabir Bey.
What these numbers is, because there is people on here. I want you to share. Listen to me. I want y'all to share this to them. Let them know that we on here now, because we can answer any of y'all questions.
They don't want to answer no questions. That's all. Listen. They don't want to answer no questions. They want to ask questions from people that don't know no better. See, when you connect yourself and keep calling Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that's what I got some questions for you. Watch this.
Like Todd said, he say COINTEL.
Somebody say, MSTLV, no Inc. is a 501c3. It is recognized as 1926. There was no 501c3 code. Well, the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated under the leadership of R. Jones Bey is a 501c3, brother. That's the fact.
Like I would call them punks behind the keyboards. That's what I would say. I hold my own. I mean, I speak with like...
You see, this is when people want to deflect. They don't want to deal with the information. They start talking like this. They don't really want that smoke for real.
I mean, I speak with like Taj may speak, and Hannibal may not speak like Taj would speak. but niggas are love to be punks behind keyboards and have not produced.
See, this is not civilized talk. This is not civilized talk. All we want to do is get to the information, Sabir. We don't care about your gangster. We don't care about your gangster. You know what I'm saying? We just want the information. Be gangster with your information. I mean, come forth with your information. Don't nobody care about your gangster. I mean, come forward with your information and prove what I'm putting up here tonight wrong. Go up there and call names and all of that old dumb stuff. But I say come with your information. With that being said, watch this. Trying to find something for you real quick. Let me see. Let me try this.
Adab chamber work. And like I had told y'all in an old radio interview that Brother Sabir blessed me to let me talk to y'all. The people that were in part of Noble Drew Ali's Adab Sabir Bey, the one that's also the co-founder of the Great Seal Association of Moorish Affairs right here in Philly, told us 4 of them became millionaires off the knowledge that
I'll get to that in a minute.
Them.
This one I'm looking for right here.
Was the only one that didn't sell you out. He registered your Zodiac Constitution and your certificate you get from the
He registered your Zodiac Constitution. Look at this, with the Europeans.
Library of Congress. And like I keep saying, y'all keep going after Sabir and my dad, but y'all don't.
You see this? He registered your Zodiac Constitution with the colonizer. That's what they call the European, the colonizer. You follow me? But that's not what I was looking for. 1 second.
But let me keep going at these Chicago brothers. You ain't no real brothers because you would have preserved Prophet Drew Ali's work. If you loved him so much, how come when the prophet died, y'all had no problem throwing his furniture out in the street?
Stop right there. This guy said, if y'all love the prophet so much, why did y'all have no problem with they throwing the prophet furniture out in the street? He's mixing apples and oranges. When the prophet Noble Drew Ali passed form, there is no story, there is no historical account that somebody threw his furniture in the street. There is none. There is none. There is none. There is no story where somebody threw the prophet furniture in the street. Somebody says this guy ain't with the original temple? Who, me? There is no original Moorish Science temple today. We're rebuilding on the structure that Prophet Noble Drew Ali left us, and I can prove every part of the building process in which we are doing today. That's right. Now, watch this. Let me get to the next one. I'm trying to find. One second. Let him look at y'all for a minute while I make some space on this thread. Okay. Watch this.
Certificates off the Library of Congress. You're supposed to get this a part of your nationality.
They claim that you're supposed to get this when you get your nationality. No one can give you a nationality. You proclaim your nationality according to the prophet. Now, if this was true, let's say hypothetically that this was true, that you're supposed to get something that CM Bey filed from the Library of Congress with your nationality. What were they getting during the time of Prophet Noble Drew Ali? What were they getting during the time of Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Because you have 30,000 Moors proclaiming to be Moorish Americans. They say. They wasn't getting nothing from the Library of Congress. This stuff is bogus. Bogus.
The CM Bey registered in 47. Now.
It's not making sense. It's not adding up. Has nothing to do with the Moorish Science Symbol of America. Now. Yeah, we're going to cook a little bit more. We're going to cook a little bit more. Giving me the Little Richard vibes. Sean, no. All right. So look, Watch this. Give me 1 second.
On time, but let me keep going to these Chicago brothers.
Oh, that's not it. That's not it. I'm trying to find one more file, bro.
We're keeping Prophet Drew Ali's work.
Where's that daggone file? I want to show you one about the nationality card. I want to show you that real bad because that is insane. That is insane. The nationality card one. All right, let's start with this one.
And seeing Bey's work alive. If you were so damn great, let
me get this file right here.
Stuff I told you out there in the regular meeting, about a good 95 of it, you got to drop. He took them on a whole new level. What I'm about to say to you, I'm going to repeat again. Whether it was on the radio interview or not, you're going to hear it. The key people were Elijah Poole Bey, you know, is Elijah Muhammad, Prophet Cherry, Father Divine, Daddy Grace, and Charles Mosley Bey.
Why do people let people say stuff without qualifying it? He said that. Listen what he said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said.
Radio interview or not, you're going to hear it. The key people were Elijah. I told you out there in the regular meeting, about a good 95 of it, you got to drop. He took them on a whole new level. What I'm about to say to you,
he said that Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, everything that I told you out there, 95% of it you have to drop. Now what you saying that the prophet was out there embellishing and lying. See how hypocritical this is? He said he told the people, what I told y'all out there, 95% was a lie. This is what he said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said.
The stuff I told you out there in the regular meeting, about a good 95 of it, you got to drop. He took them on a whole new level. What I'm about to say to you, I'm going to repeat again. Whether it was on the radio interview or not, you're going to hear it. The key people were Elijah Poole Bey.
He said he took Elijah Poole Bey, Elijah Muhammad.
You know, is Elijah Muhammad. Prophet Cherry.
Prophet Cherry. That is the Hebrew brother of the Zionist church, I think it was.
Father Divine.
Father Divine, Christian brother.
Daddy Grace.
Daddy Grace.
And Charles Mosley Bey.
And Mosley Bey. Now, here we go. Why nobody asked him to qualify these bogus statements? Nobody asked him to qualify these bogus statements. But let me deal with two of them real quick. Let me deal with two of these statements real quick. First of all, this is the thing that I need you to do when people try to lie to you, family. Look them up. Research them. You know what I'm saying? So here you go with his daddy, starting like his daddy. There you go. He's going to teach you about Moorish Science. You know what I mean? There you go. Starting like his daddy. All right? Starting like his daddy. Now we're going to look at two people because I don't got time to look at them all. But let's look at, I think this is Father Divine. Daddy Grace. After spending his youth in Cabo Verde, Grace immigrated to the United States in 1904 and then jealousized his name. Okay, so 1904, right? Daddy Grace basically Europeanized his name. This was way before Prophet Noble Drew Ali. 1904, that was at least 9 years before Prophet Noble Drew Ali even stepped on the scene in Newark, New Jersey. He had already arrived to some form of consciousness. He settled in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and set up his first house of prayer in nearby West Wareham about 1919. In Massachusetts? Prophet Noble Drew Ali hadn't even registered the first Moorish Science Temple of America. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali was still in New Jersey and New York. Not in Massachusetts. Listen to this. During the next few years, he traveled along American East Coast, preaching, holding tent meetings, and conducting lakeside baptisms and mass. Then he could have met Prophet Noble Drew Ali during that time, but hey, who knows? But nothing emphatic. It says in 1926, he founded in Charlotte, North Carolina, the United House of Prayer for All Peoples, which he based to a certain extent upon holiness Pentecostal theology and practice. In 1926, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was established in the Moorish Temple of Science. He was established in the United House of Prayer. So, when did this adapt chamber happen? When? See, this is people that make up stuff to try to act like they know something that people don't know. But see, you could get away with that stuff in the 80s. You can't get away with that today. Members were expected to attend daily service, which often included speaking in tongues, singing, clapping, and reports of faith, healing by grace. Grace established itself as an autocratic leader of the church. Blah, 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 blah. In the 80s, you could get away with these fantastic stories. And people will ooh and ah. The sad part is that you got younger generations in today listening to this madness and acting ooh and ah over it, and it don't make no sense. And they have the ability to research and fact check it. They have the ability to research and fact check it in a way that we didn't have. We did not have the ability to research and fact check as this generation does today. So there's no excuse to believe in the lies of Taj Tariq Bey, Hannibal Bey, or any other Bey. You have the ability to fact check it. You have the ability to fact check me. There is no reason to fall for the okie doke lie. Then he talks about Father Divine, also known as Reverend M.J. Divine, was an African-American spiritual leader from about 1907. You hear that? This was again before Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That he was moving on his crazy spiritual path minus the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Unless they're going to make this up. Unless they're going to make this up and say, yeah, he met him in 1905. It don't make sense that people would follow this stuff. And then the last but not least, this guy was in the adapt chamber too. And this is the one you believe. This is who you believe. Y'all heard him say it. This is a credible man right here. This is credible. This is not credible. Most people that teach this weird Moorish science nonsense get it from him. I was going to go over a case, but what I'll do right now, and I'll go over this. They talk about the certificate of registration, right? September 8th, 1952 AD, Clock of Destiny, Moorish American, Al-Moroccan nationality card. You hear what they say? Clock of Destiny, Moorish American nationality card. That's one of the last items I'm going to touch on. Because this is one of the items, if I can find it right quick. Let me stop this for a second. This is one of the items that I'm going to touch on. Because these crazy people have the audacity to get on the internet and say that they have the original nationality card from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's what they claim. So let me pull this down real quick and find this clip real quick. Unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. And give me 1 second. Make sure. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Did I put it there? Hold on. Let me see. I thought I watch this, family. Sabir Bey 2. Here we go. All right, I got it. Here we go, family. Praise the Lord for that. Now watch this. Now watch this. Listen to this.
Oh, shoot, he digging in the crates. That's what we call it, Carly. Digging in the crates.
Your nationality card, when Joao Lee was on the scene, looked like this.
Oh, damn.
Your colors.
Hold
Card used to
Oh,
look.
shoot,
You hear that?
he digging in the crates. That's what we call it, Carly. Oh, damn.
He said it looked like this. Let me see if I can find another video. I think I got 2 of them. He said your nationality card look like such and such. Right? In fact, let's just do it like this. Since we at the end of the show, let's do it like this. Let's pull up the video. Pull up the video. I want you to hear Sabir Bey all crazy too. Right, we want to hear it all of it. Let me just shrink this down real quick. Bear with me real quick, because you need to hear this. You definitely need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? You definitely need to hear this. Hold up. Why can't I find the video now? Sabir Bey, you in my computer? All right, here we go. I'm gonna get it now. I got it. All right. Yeah, y'all really need to hear this. This is the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Yakub.
This is the icing on the cake right here. Let me see if I can. All right. Stop right here. This is the icing on the cake. Unbelievable. Here we go again. They killed the prophet and he didn't get to teach us everything. He said he didn't teach us everything. So we all have to broaden our minds. Who said that, brother? Show me where you got that from. Let me give you the link. Show me where you got that from. Show me where the prophet said he didn't teach us everything. Show me. Stop repeating stuff. Show me. Show me where the prophet said he didn't teach us everything. Show me. Can you show me that, Beware? I'll wait till you hit the link. Let me get this file up in here. I know you heard that somewhere, because I heard it too, but it ain't true. Watch this.
Hold up. Let me show y'all something.
In the back.
Hold up. Let me show you something. They digging.
Watch this. Watch this.
But now.
Hold up, Ty. Go ahead.
But them same niggas that's talking that crap.
Watch this.
This one right
watch
here.
closely. Watch closely.
He's not talking about this nationality card.
That's Sabir Bey. That's Sabir Bey.
See what I'm saying?
See what I'm talking about?
This is, hold up. That's the old, that mine is.
Here we go. Sabir Bey. This is what they believe. Thank you, King Moab. Thank you, King Moab. Here we go. That is Sabir Bey showing the nationality card. Now, Hannibal Bey says that. Let me play it. Let me play it real quick. Let me play it. I want y'all to get this one because I'm going to knock this one out the park.
Doesn't matter. It's the colors that the prophet had.
They're not talking about this.
They done sat there, did the sellout, and changed everything to red and blue instead of your Moorish colors.
Look at Amir's nationality card.
He said that the Moors sellouts, they changed it to red and blue instead of the Moorish colors. But notice that he hold the Holy Quran up there. Notice that he hold the Holy Quran up there and say, you change the colors to red and blue. It's actually red, white, and blue.
This is the seal that he's talking about.
Now.
Y'all see this? Listen, watch this. Read the front of this card. In fact, let me screenshot it just a tad bit so we can read it in a second. All right. Read the front of this card, and I'm about to show you how fraud work. This is total fraud. Super fraud. I'm about to show you in a minute. Let me move this from the stream. Or let me stop it real quick. Watch this. Stop this. And I'm going to do the screen share real quick. Now, according to these people, right? Sabir Bey, Hannibal Bey, according to them, right? This is the prophet's nationality card. The funny part about this is that they say that the name Muhammad, prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque was established by the Dutch, right? However, on their own fake nationality card that they say is the original, this is the nationality and identification card of Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, which they have never been Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. And all Moors in North America. Let me see if I can read it close, read it better. Watch this. We honor all Moors in North America. We honor all divine prophet, Muhammad and Confucius. Something. But now, they claim that this is the original card, and when they hijacked the temple, that they changed it. Now, this is how goofy this is. Don't he know that people have records? So let me read it again. This is the nationality and identification card of Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, and the birthrights of all Moors in North America. We Moors of North America believe all divine prophets, Ali, Muhammad, and Buddha and Confucius. May the blessings of Allah, of Ali, be on you that carry this card. Then it says, the bearer of this card is a Muslim under divine law of the great Quran of Muhammad and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and a citizen of the U.S.A. Noble Drew Ali, found in Chicago, Illinois. Now, they claim that this is the original nationality card. This is ridiculously foolish and silly. And here's why. This is a nationality card from 1930 from Brother Henderson Young Bey. All right. $1930 from Henderson Young Bey. It doesn't say what their cards say. This is a nationality card from what? Guess what? You might don't understand that writing, but this is a nationality card from 1926 from Sis J. Cook Bey. She was 7 years old. And the way a real nationality card reads is like this. This is your nationality and identification card for the Moorish Science Temple of America and birthrights for Moorish Americans. We honor all the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. May the blessings of the God of our Father Allah be upon you that carry this card. I do hereby declare you a Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am a citizen of the USA. Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet, 3603 Indiana Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Douglas, 5909. Now that's how you authenticate it. The way that you authenticate it is because it got the prophet's home address. You feel me? It got the prophet home address. 3603 Indiana Avenue was home office during the time of the prophet. Douglas, the phone number is consistent with all other documents. You follow what I'm saying? Now, before that nationality card, this is the original nationality card. But this nationality card is not necessarily for what is called the Moorish Science Temple of America. This nationality card is for the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. And those are two different levels of understanding that the movement moves on. One is a national demonstration. One is an international demonstration. And that's a whole nother conversation. But with that being said, it says, this is your nationality and membership card for the Moorish Holy Temple of Science and birthright for Moorish Americans, etc. We honor all the prophets, Muhammad and Jesus. May the blessings of the gods of our fathers, Allah, be upon you that carry this card. I do hereby declare that you are Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. This card is dated 9/3/1926. Noble Drew Ali founder, 23 East 36th place. Do you know where that place is? 26 East 36th place. That is the prophet's first temple that was founded in October the 15th, 1925. The first temple of the Moorish Science Temple of America was founded, I might be off a little bit, I doubt it. I stand to be corrected. I don't mind. October the 15th, 1925. I'm sticking with it. So they make up stuff to sensationalize the story of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. These people are out of their mind. They are out of their mind. You understand what I'm saying? They are out of their mind. And for those who are not familiar with the words, this is what the actual nationality card says. I'm going to give you a real clear one. You know what I'm saying? And it's for the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's not to get on a plane. It's not to save tax money. It's not to do any of that. It's for what it says. The Moorish Science Temple of America. All right? And this is what it says. This is one that's from 1940. This is your nationality and identification card for the Moorish Science Temple of America and birthrights for the Moorish Americans, etc. We honor all the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. May the blessings of the God of our Father, Allah, be upon you that carry this card. I do hereby declare that you are Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am a citizen of the USA. And as you can see, it still has the prophet address there in 1940. Prophet was long gone, but it still reflects the address because people were scared to change anything because they thought it was a sacred thing to leave the address there. Only in the 80s did they start putting the address of their temples and what they represented. They thought it was we can't change the address. No, the prophet ain't at that address. There is no home office at 3603 Indiana Avenue no more. Change the address. Where you operating out of? So the point that I'm making is that these people are crazy. They're making this stuff up as they go along. And as the Moorish Science Temple of America, somebody said the first temple was in 1913. No, the first temple was not in 1913. There was no temple in 1913. The only thing that we can conclude is that Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the thought entered into his mind of the full concept of the Moorish Science Temple of America in 1913. And from 1913, it was founded in thought. Thought is the cause of everything. You know what I'm saying? Thought is the cause of everything. So it was thought of in 1913 and built upon all the way into the close of his prophecy in 1928, October the 17th. That's what I determined the close of the prophecy, because on that day, the children that you see in that picture, if you will, the children that you see in that picture, let me pull it up one more time before I get out of here. The children that you see in that picture, oh, that's not it. My bad. The children that you see in that picture, right? I'll share this with you real quick. When you look up top here and you see those little children right there, those children that was in that picture, right there and right there, they ducked in behind the adults. Those children were made adapts. And on this day, October the 17th, 1928, he wrapped a Moorish flag and American flag around these children. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, Jay the World, yeah, good looking, bro. Good looking. Thank you, man. I'm teaching people to research. That's right. I was just looking up in Wikipedia and it was saying that. I was just wondering about it. Thank you, Jay the World. And you know, our staff is going to correct all of these lies. Our staff are going to correct all of these lies from Wikipedia and everything. You know what I'm saying? There we go again. The 1913, it was the Canaanite temple and it went through. No, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was never the founder of the Canaanite temple. Anybody want to debate me? Come on, I take all challenges. He was never the founder of the Canaanite temple. He never constructed the Canaanite temple. That was a lie also. I got the goods. I got the goods. We got to change and re-educate ourselves. Prophet Noble Drew Ali never founded the Canaanite temple. That was a lie. I got the goods. Anybody want it? Remember Das Effect? He's like, who want battle? Make a deep bow. Taking the time to get buck. Wow. Call me back on my phone because I dribble and drop enough styles. Huh? Yeah. That's right. He did teach in Dixon Barbershop. I agree with that. Let me explain to my brother Alamo, because you're very respectful. Thank you, brother. Okay, this is what we conclude, brother. This is what we conclude, brother Moel. What happened was this. Here in Baltimore, 1913 is when it was founded. It wasn't no temple in 1913. It was founded in the mind. But okay, this is what it was, bro. This is what it was, brother Moel. In Baltimore, right, we got some Hebrew Israelites. They are having their service at the YMCA. You follow me? That will be like 100 years from now. Somebody say, yeah, they built the YMCA and then they created the Israelite temple of such and such. No. Prophet Noble Drew Ali attended a few meetings and he taught in the Canaanite temple while the Canaanite temple was already established by another group of people. That's it. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught on School Street. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught in Dixon Barbershop. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught on, I think it's Rutgers, Reuters, whatever the street called. I mean, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I got all the address that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught according to research. Research does not support that Prophet Noble Drew Ali founded the Canaanite temple. There is no research that support that. Only hearsay. There is no research. Even when you look at the corporate filing of the Canaanite temple later years, you feel what I'm saying? Even when you look at it, has nothing to do with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But you know who we do find on the corporate filing? Mr. Dixon from Dixon Barbershop. So maybe that's how maybe somebody mixed up. But a lot of what you hear from Moors is hearsay. So we in our temple, we don't go by hearsay. We go by fact. We go by what we can prove. That cannot be proven. That cannot be proven. So we don't carry on that because that's how we got lost so far. That's how we got lost. That's how we got lost. We keep listening to people like Taj Tariq. We keep listening to these old sheiks that don't know no better. We keep listening to people like Rasadiel carrying on lies and stories that don't make sense. They can't prove nothing that they saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, why so much information on the prophet? Thank you, Anthony B. Good question. The reason why there's so much information on the prophet is because Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in my eyes, was a prophet true indeed. And in order to get people, see, listen, whether we like the Prophet Noble Drew Ali or not, or the Moorish Science or not, we have a divine calling as a people. And in this divine calling as a people, the universe have answered our cry. The universe has answered the cry from the ancestors. Man, we have suffered greatly. You know what I'm saying? We have suffered more than any people on the planet Earth. And the reason why I say that, and I'll try to close with this, we have suffered more than anybody on the planet Earth. If you go look at the crazy things that people suffered in the Congo, the civil war of the Congo, where they cut off people's hands, cut off the sister genitalia. When that was over, in fact, the Congo still suffers from civil war, from pale Arabs. But when it's all said and done, the Congolese know that they are Congolese. You hear me? When the catastrophes happened in Nagasaki, those people, our people, Asiatics, when things happened in Japan, when it was all over, they knew that they were Japanese. Wherever you go around the world, even the European Jew that suffer prosecution from Germany, when it was all said and done, they still proclaim themselves to be Jews. No matter where you go in the world, even if you go by the story in the Bible about the Israelites being in captivity for 400 years by Egypt, when they came out of Egypt, they knew that they were Israelites. We are the only people on the planet Earth that have suffered through slavery and came out not knowing who we are. We're the only people on the planet Earth that have suffered a traumatic experience. And now, 1 minute we was Negro, the next minute we was Black, the next minute we were colored, the next we was Afro-American, the next we was African-American, the next we was this, that, and the third. And so this is the pathway out of this situation as it relates to intellectual, as it relates to economic, as it relates to spiritual, as it relates to society. This is a path out. So in order to block your path, the message must be convoluted. And so they got people that impose the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birth name, which was Thomas Drew. They imposed the name Timothy Drew. That way you cannot trace his footsteps and you cannot repeat what he demonstrated. When you open up your Bible and you look at the story of Jesus, you got 18 missing years of Jesus. And we begin to give people the benefit of a doubt and think Jesus was soft, think Jesus was weak. But when you read the Bible, you don't read that weak Jesus. But then you got 18 years missing out of your Bible. 1 minute he's 12 going into the temple. The next thing you know, he's 30 something about to go on the cross. And we give people the benefit of the doubt. We give people the benefit of the doubt like Jesus is soft. However, when you go into the education of Jesus of the 18 missing years of Jesus, you find out that Jesus ain't soft. You find out that Jesus ain't a pushover. And you find out if you can demonstrate the same qualities, you can become a son of God too, intellectually and spiritually. So the same thing happens with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They cover it up, they convolute it, they send misinformation, and they continue to do it even until this day. Because God forbid if you try to demonstrate what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali demonstrated. God forbid if you express nationhood in your everyday walk. God forbid if you build unity with economic security. Because if you do that, everything else collapses. When you understand that you can provide your own water, when you understand that you can provide your own clothing, when you understand that you can provide your own food, when you understand that you can teach your own children, when you understand that you can build your own automobile, everything else collapses. And so when you look at the teachings of the Prophet Noble Ali, it starts from organization into nation. And Prophet Noble Ali gives us the example of how to go from organization where he was on a curb screaming to the people at the top of his lungs from a milk crate into building $1 million religious corporation. Many of your rights are protected under religious rights. Feel what I'm saying? Many of your rights are protected under religious rights. One of the most solid protections in this country is religious rights. So they convolute the message so you won't know what it is or you won't attempt to try it. And so you got temples out here with mixed messages. You got temples out here that play along to get along. You got temples out here that turn it to look like a old lady's church. Prophet Noble Drew Ali is coming. Praise due to Allah. He sent me a prophet, Drew Ali. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali was about business. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was about acquisition of land. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was about acquisition of economic and political power. Prophet Noble Drew Ali wasn't singing Kumbaya. So if you join in the temple and they singing Kumbaya, Prophet Noble Drew, like they going to a funeral, you in the wrong place. So that's the answer, Brother Anthony B. The reason why is so much misinformation, it's put out there intentional. So people won't know what to follow. If you got a genius amongst you and you don't want people to follow the genius, the pathway up out of a crazy situation, then you just mix the information up. You bring people like Sabir Bey. You bring people like Taj Tariq Bey. You bring people like Hannibal to discredit the Prophet's original program. See, everything that they speak about what they experience people do. They don't speak about what the Prophet did. What I do is I speak about what the Prophet did, and I espouse those who are in the temple to do the same. If Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we need economic security, then put your money where your mouth is. If Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we need our own acres of land, then put your money where your mouth is. If Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we need to have stronger moral character, then put your character where your teachings is. In other words, if Prophet Noble Drew Ali talk about moral character, and he said we need people from all walks of life, all fields of life, to be rolling with us. This is why I could care less if you call yourself black today, if you call yourself Chinese. I don't care nothing about none of that. Come on, what you bringing to the table? You try and get up out this situation? Because when it all falls apart, all we going to have is each other. And we can't have no frauds around us. We can't have no frauds around us. People might get mad at me because I call them out, but those frauds is the one going to throw you under the bus. Those frauds is the ones going to sell you out. Those frauds that talk tough, they the one that's going to talk to them people about you. They said, GS, is the Moorish Science Temple of America a nonprofit organization? The Moorish Science Temple of America is a not-for-profit organization, but it's not registered as a 501c3 as it relates to the IRS codes that are used for churches. It's registered under Herds Provide statute. And if you don't know, you can look it up. Herds Provide. So let me pull it up for you before I get out of here. It's registered. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali registered the movement on the Herds Provide statute, and it's a specific reason that he did that. You know what I'm saying? And if you read Herds Provide statute, it'll give you a better understanding. You know what I mean? The difference between Herds Provide statute and the 501c3 status. 501c3 status is a Johnny come lately. And when you read that, you'll understand better. But with that being said, family, I got to get out of here. I'm losing my voice. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Did y'all enjoy this presentation? Did y'all learn something today? There you go. So y'all can go into politics and have no trouble. Absolutely, brother. There you go. You got it already, J-World. You got it already, J-World. You got it already. You got it already, brother. Did y'all enjoy this? Press 7 if y'all enjoyed this presentation. And let me close with this. Y'all can let Taj Tariq and them know, and all of their followers, that if I got hype in my zealous way of teaching, I meant no disrespect. I mean no disrespect. Only thing we're going to do is get to the facts. Only thing we're going to do is get to the facts. And because my family lived this day in and day out, why should you walk around and be able to lie about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings unchecked? And all of these people calling themselves sheiks in the temples, they let this stuff go unchecked for 20 and 30 years. Now they crying, saying, Tahaka Bey, why are you saying this? The prophet say don't speak radical, man, be quiet. The prophet say protect the prophet and the movement. And he said, preserve these holy and divine laws. And in the preservation of preserving these laws, we don't call out those who have misrepresented them for over 20 and 30 years and ain't built nothing even with they lie. So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Over 20 and 30 years and haven't built nothing with they lie. Nothing. They say he's Tahaka Bey.
He says Tahaka Bey? Toronto Johnson? I called for a Moorish court on brother Toronto Johnson. And anybody who's riding with him with this scandal with these videos of me and my wife frauding the people.
Check it.
I never saw my brothers and sisters serving these packages when I was with Dawid Ali and them and Taj and them used to come to Chicago.
I laid them old boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway. Sleepwalking. They keep talking. I probably catch a charge and I don't care what any say. Nobody. Yeah, I'm the people's grand sheik and the people's grand sheik ain't seen a man I can't beat. Only the gods is my equal. You mortals, you just my sequel. You just my sequel. What the 85ers? Dip divers? Trying to symbolize us? You already dead. Who done got up in your head? Rent free. You wanna know who sent me? Who sent you? Leg, head. I tried to pull you out the bed, but you got a ball groggy. Started talking real crazy, eyes foggy. Couldn't see through the fog. Then I had to bring you dogs, barking all up in your ear, acting like you don't care. Oh, you don't care? Like you don't preserve life. Oh yeah. And you really don't care, right? Oh, you don't care, right? Well, we gon' really check that, bet that, respect that. Since you said you ain't scared to die. I laid them young boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway. I laid them old boys to rest. They was sleepwalking anyway. I'm the people's grand sheik. I ain't seen a man I can't beat. I laid them young boys to rest. They was sleepwalking anyway. I would take you on any day. Michigan, New York, Cali, where you at? What you thought? From that town to Baltimore, everybody on the road is all raw. They ready, choppers. I don't really think you want the problem. Hold up, raise the thought up. Back to a law, leg, head. I try to get him out the bed, Sleepwalking anyway. Sleepwalking anyway. Wake up. Keep talking. Sleepwalking anyway. Wake up. I don't care what any say. Nobody. I'm the people's grand sheep and the people's grand sheep. I ain't seen a man I can't beat. Never. You mortals, you just my sequel. You mortals, you just my sequel. Only equals is the gods. You mortals, that's my sequel. I see dead people. Hey, I see dead people. I lay them old boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway. I lay them young boys to rest. They was dead sleep anyway. Hey, people screaming. I ain't never met a man that I can't beat. No, the gods is my only equal. That's it. You mortals, you just my sequel. That's it.
I call for a Moorish court on Brother Toronto Johnson and anybody who's riding with him with this scandal or with these videos of me and my wife frauding the people.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. If you a friend of the Moors, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. Family, see y'all tonight, 9:30. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law